All right, welcome back everybody to Wisconsin Weather Experts on this Thursday. Another exciting night last night of northern lights, 2 in a row across Wisconsin and many states.
I mean, and we're getting real good at taking these pictures. Like we've upped our game. I mean, the first time it happened, it was just good enough to get color. And everybody like, look, it's purple and green or whatever. Now it's like, oh, what can I put in the foreground and how do I make this cool? We really have been enjoying the pictures that you're sending us. Look, that is spectacular.
Isn't this fantastic?
That's the observatory that we love, Gerke, so much, down in Williams Bay.
Yeah, this is from a really awesome photographer, Bradford, who sent this in. And just kind of going down the list here, this was from Debbie in Belgium. Now, last night's colors were maybe not quite as vibrant as the night before, but they're still stunning. Sue in Beaver Dam caught some beautiful colors. And up next, this is from Dousman.
Right.
I mean, you could really see pillars in this picture. And then I love this one.
Wow,
this is from Nancy in Port Washington. Kind of the same deal. You can see the pillars, but also just the contrast between the pinks and the greens. And then we'll leave you with another lake shot. This was from Kim over Geneva Lake, more so in the Fontana area. But oh my goodness, just gorgeous.
And every time I open the inbox, there's a new one in there. Facebook, I've got tagged on hundreds. I tried to put a bunch up on my Facebook page for you to check out. And please keep sending them. They're spectacular. We just don't have enough airtime to get them all in.
I know, and I even saw them from my house in northern Milwaukee County. Now, I am by a school, so there are some pretty bright lights.
Sure.
So normally I can't see them too well, so my picture, you will not see my picture. It's not that great. But it was awesome because I still got to see at least a little bit of the pink colors closer to the lake. And it's just exciting that we had 2 nights in a row. And now technically, it's not out of the realm of possibilities to see it again tonight.
It is possible.
I think north of us has the better chance.
If we see it here, it'll be a little more muted, but it's possible. So if you still haven't seen them, maybe, take a drive up to Sheboygan, find a nice rural area, Manitowoc maybe. Those are better spots for it.
The hype, the excitement, I think is still there, so I'm sure there will be some.
There's definitely some FOMO in this building, too, because a lot of the early risers and the overnight crew are like, I was asleep through all that. So, but if you haven't, maybe tonight. Our neighbors to the south also got quite the show overnight. These are some of the pictures from parts of Illinois.
Oh, gorgeous.
Wow, look at those. Oh, my goodness, some of those colors are just absolutely
very vibrant.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Oh my
and then, of course, up next, we've got some pictures as far south as Florida. I mean, this really, it's not northern lights anymore when it's in Florida, right? These ones come from one of the viewers of our sister station there, Derek Demeter, taken in the Seminole State Forest, which is about 30 minutes north of Orlando. Now, check out this time lapse from Mount Wilson in California, captured by UC San Diego. Yes, UC San Diego. The Aurora Borealis are visible in more than a dozen states.
Wow. Even with the clouds, you could see it.
Even experts were kind of stunned by this, about how far it was and how intense it was. These kind of storms, of course, can also disrupt GPS, power grids, and satellites. There weren't a ton of reports of those negative impacts, though. Now, our last stop, we go to Central Texas. These images, the Northern Lights sent to us. FOX7 in Austin.
Look at that.
Wow, our sister station there. Look at that. I didn't get a chance to look at all of these before we went to air, but some of those are unbelievable. Some of that's showing the mass ejection there, but some of these are just showing that dark red, of course, just dancing across the sky. Northern lights triggered by an increase in sun activity. We're going to get into the details coming up in a couple of minutes here, but the flares, of course, and the peak just came through on the weekend, and then now we're just traveling through some of the impacts of that with these particles in the night sky. If you want to get into some of the details of how these things form, well, that's why we have meteorologist Holly Baker here to explain.
Well, you've probably seen those stunning photos of purple and green dancing across the night sky. That's called an Aurora Borealis, also known as the Northern Lights, where I'm here to tell you how exactly the Northern Lights form. So let's go ahead and get started here. You first have to have a magnetic field, which we do. We have a magnetic field, and then from there, you see here, we have those charged protons and electrons that are emitted from the sun, and all of that is also known as the solar wind. So what that does is those particles pretty much follow within the magnetic field, as you see here with those blue lines. And once those particles molecules pretty much form and follow within that magnetic field, it enters into Earth's atmosphere through the poles. So with Earth in general, we have a northern pole and we have a southerly pole, or a north pole and south pole, right? So in our case, for the state of Wisconsin, we're going to normally be closer to the North Pole. So for instance, when we see the northern lights, it's going to come through the North Pole. In some areas in the southern hemisphere, when they see the northern lights, or southern lights, I should say, it's going to come through the South Pole. And when that happens, as you see here, those electrons will typically collide with the various molecules in the atmosphere. So that's going to create all of these beautiful pictures that you're able to pretty much see. So the results is this exciting collision of these molecules is going to vary in colors based on the height and type of molecules that it hits. So we're going to go through some of the colors. We'll start at the top here. If you see, it says red auroras. That is about above 200 kilometers, and that is where the oxygen, that is your oxygen molecules. Then you go down to blue, you start to see some areas could even see blue. Well, that's nitrogen molecules, and that's about 100 to 200 kilometers up. Something more common that we see here in Wisconsin is green auroras. So those green auroras are also oxygen molecules, and they range typically from 100 to 200 kilometers up as well. And then you have the pink auroras. Most of the time here in Wisconsin, we see the pink and green aurora. So, but the pink aurora is a nitrogen molecules, and those are below 100 kilometers. So the next time you're out and you're trying to get a nice picture or a nice glaze or glance at the northern lights, you're going to need to use your phone camera to basically be able to see the beautiful northern lights, and then you can just snap a picture and you can post it. And don't forget to tag us at FOX6 Weather on Facebook.
That's right. Always tag us on social. We love seeing all your stuff. We appreciate all the effort. And it is fascinating that the phone is the key here, because to the naked eye, it's been kind of muted colors for the most part. It's not like we're seeing these spectacular displays of the North Pole, but once you put that phone up and it kind of filters out the light, and you get to see what is happening up there, it's just unbelievable. Like you said, maybe another chance tonight. A few other things going on. And I think we're going to start talking about a warm-up.
We are here in the central plains and the Great Lakes region. We're going to warm things up quite nicely here in the next couple of days. We've got a high pressure system with us right now, so we're enjoying sunshine, and we'll continue to enjoy sunshine the next couple of days. We're watching this warm front, though, that's draped across the Dakotas and parts of Montana. That's moving eastward, and that's going to bring us, especially Saturday, as Rob mentioned, a really nice warm up. So a treat to start the weekend. Now, the cold front will then bring us back to reality on Sunday, so a bit of a split weekend temperature-wise. Both days look to feature at least a little bit of sunshine, though. The rain chance associated with this is really dwindling day by day, so it's very slight at this point. Most of the United States, especially central parts of the U.S., actually very quiet at the moment. We have a series of high-pressure systems across the U.S. It's really just the East Coast and the West Coast dealing with all the active weather. In fact, you can see that next storm system impacting pretty much all of the West Coast right now, with rain at the moment, but also wind. And then some of those higher elevations around the western parts of the U.S. going to see some snow out of this system. In fact, parts of California, eastern California, as you can see, they have winter weather headlines between winter weather advisories at those higher elevations in purple, as well as the winter storm warnings for several inches of snowfall here. And then also combine that with wind too. You can see a lot of spots out west, especially from Oregon into portions of California under wind advisories. Looks like there is one high wind warning across parts of Montana. I would imagine in the next couple of days or in the next day or so, we'll see more of these wind headlines as this system really starts to work its way eastward. So it's just one of those classic systems that's going to bring different types of precip to different elevations and combined with a strong wind. Otherwise, we're very quiet. The only other headline is out east, and that's a special weather statement for a handful of areas, more so for some fire danger. So there is still some elevated fire danger in some, we'll say, mid-Atlantic states. Here locally, though, we've got sunshine, and we'll continue to stay really beautiful through the next couple of days. One other factor across the state of Wisconsin for today as compared to the last couple is the lack of wind. It is significantly lighter throughout this Thursday and will stay that way Friday as well. We may end up seeing a few more clouds the second half of today. Otherwise, clear skies still expected throughout your overnight hours. If you are going to try to get out late tonight or overnight in general to see that potential northern light show, again, primarily north of our reviewing area, but if you're going to try, we may have a few clouds early on, but then they will clear out. Friday is looking just as nice. Do you think northern communities may end up seeing a few more clouds filter in during the day? Otherwise, getting into Saturday, I think that's when we see more of those partly sunny conditions. There's just a slight chance to see a sprinkle throughout the day as that cold front works its way on in, but the chance is really slim at this point. So both Saturday and Sunday, I think we see all dry time for the most part, and maybe just a few more clouds for Saturday. By Sunday, we're basically clearing things right back out. We'll just feel that temperature drop, especially going from, low to mid 60s Saturday to maybe mid 40s on Sunday. That is the biggest factor for your weekend. Now, temperatures for today, likely upper 40s in those northern communities, but those of us in central and southern Wisconsin will still climb nicely into the middle 50s. Down towards the south and out west, even warmer. You can see a lot of spots out west expecting to see high temperatures in the low 70s today. 80s down towards the south for places like Texas, New Mexico, as well as Arizona and Southern California. And then, of course, where it's a bit more active towards the northeast, that's also one of the cooler spots. They're seeing more of that wintry mix right now and some snow off of the lake still. So that's absolutely going to keep those temperatures on the cooler side as you get towards those New England states. Look at the climb we have in the next couple of days. Today, again, high temperatures, and this is in Milwaukee, but similar for much of the state of Wisconsin. Friday, we're jumping to about 60, and then Saturday, that's over 15 degrees above average for this time of year, that potential high right around 64. It is going to be a drastic drop for the weekend on into early next week, but those upper 40s for Sunday, that's actually average now for this time of year. Gone are the days of the 50s being our average. Now we're to that point, we're really steadily dropping with those averages down into the 40s. So that's becoming more normal for this time of year. Now, despite a couple of days of a warm up, we do still have some cooler nights ahead. In fact, tonight temperatures will still be a bit on the cool side. We'll wake up to 30s tomorrow morning. Saturday will be a bit more mild. And then notice Sunday, Monday mornings, even into Tuesday and Wednesday, a little bit on the chillier side. So even though we've got a couple of warmer days, you're still going to need your jackets heading out in the morning. Don't get rid of those just yet.
That's right. It is still November.
Absolutely.
We're going to get a little spoiled here. Before we go to break, quick update on what's, of course, been happening with the recovery down in Jamaica and the Caribbean post-Melissa 2 weeks after now, after it made landfall in Jamaica. Recovery efforts still going strong. Storm caused widespread damage, of course, killed at least 45 people. Ground crews from the U.S. are focusing on clearing debris and getting basic services restored. Some groups set up in field hospitals and kind of the hard-hit areas. Still, the damage to the infrastructure there is making it very difficult to get the aid to where it is needed.
Yeah, and then moving overseas, check out this weather alert. Cleanup is underway in Taiwan after tropical storm Feng Wang brought severe flooding. This is actually video of a bridge, which we're going to show here in just a little bit. But this is the video of the flooding. Number one, it's a little comical because this crew has their cat with them. Got to keep their kitty cat safe, right? But look at some of this side. So this is a crew assessing the damage from this tropical storm, which is crazy. So the local weather service there says 42 inches of rain fell in a 48-hour period. It basically just looks like this. I don't know if that's a car or a boat, but it looks like it's a boat going through a lake.
Right, or at least the type of vehicle that is equipped to go into water.
Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Now, of course, look at this super typhoon that hit the Philippines recently.
Look at that bridge.
It's just getting tossed around like it was a piece of playground equipment, right? I mean, it is, I believe, a passenger bridge, but like a footbridge, right? But still, unbelievable. This happened recently, caused the bridge to shake back and forth. These types of storms happen about 20 times a year in that area. Like, I don't think it's a vehicle bridge, is it?
No, it can't be.
No, I don't think so, but still, just shaking it around like it's, like some toy on a playground.
Right, it just shows how powerful the wind was within that storm. And the fact that they deal with that quite often during the season.
You know, it's why do we live where the air hurts my face?
Right.
Well, at least it doesn't do that. We
There
get
you
windy,
go.
but not quite that bad. All right, we'll be back. We've got a lot more with Wisconsin weather experts coming up in just a bit. In fact, we're going to take you to Mars.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to Wisconsin Weather Experts. Really cool event that happened on the state.
Yeah, kind of a space history date today. Back in 1971, NASA's Mariner 9 reached Mars and then became the first spacecraft to orbit another planet. It did manage to beat the Soviet Mars 2, despite the Mars 2 having an 11-day head start to the red planet. Mariner 9 mapped about 85% of the Martian surface, sent back more than 7,000 pictures. Of course, the pictures that you're seeing there on that monitor, not exactly the kind of pictures we're getting these days from the red planet.
But at the time, monumental.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. The first man-made, Earth-made satellite to go into orbit around another planet.
Yeah, that's incredible.
A huge achievement for science, for sure.
Important day in history.
Yeah.
Well, Blue Origin is delaying its New Glenn rocket launch for a second time, and this time due to the intense solar storm that brought us all these gorgeous northern lights pictures. So the massive rocket will carry 2 satellites, which will eventually orbit Mars. They will study the red planet's weak magnetic field and atmosphere. Now, they won't get there until sometime in 2027, but first, the New Glenn needs to get off the ground. The new window for launch starts this afternoon, so we'll be watching it closely.
That's right. So we talked a bit about the impact of these auroras and,
Yes.
of course, the solar storm, that coronal mass ejection, obviously an impact on the spacecraft. And it's a busy time right now that we're going through with the solar cycle. For more on that, we have Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks.
On the topic of northern lights, really a wild display over the last several days. You can even see it through the clouds in some areas, and absolutely brilliant colors in the skies here. Now, I've had a lot of questions asking, why does it seem like we are seeing the northern lights more now than, say, in years past? And nope, you're not imagining things. We are actually seeing the northern lights more currently than we did a couple of years ago. And the reason why has to do with solar cycles. So solar cycles go in 11-year spans. The current solar cycle that we're in started in 2019, and it started at a solar minimum, meaning that we didn't have many solar storms coming off of the sun and heading towards Earth. Well, now that we're in the middle of this solar cycle, we are reaching the peak of solar storm intensity here, or a solar maximum. That is why we are seeing more northern light displays and also more CMEs, as they're known, or coronal mass ejections, coming off of the sun, because we are now reaching this solar maximum. Well, these solar cycles go in 11-year cycles. They last for 11 years. So it started at a solar minimum in 2019. It's reaching the solar maximum, or most amount of solar storms right now. And then it's going to curve back down to a solar minimum around 2030 to 2031. So we are at the peak right now of solar activity. And this is why we are seeing more Aurora Borealis displays, well, than we did several years ago. So again, you're not imagining things. We are seeing more of them, and that has to do with that 11-year solar cycle, and that we are right at the peak, or the solar maximum of that. Now watch, within the next 2 years or so, we're not going to get these nearly as frequently. Again, it's all thanks to the solar cycle that we're in.
Oh, all right. And just think what our Instagram feeds will look like in another 11 years when we're back in the sun.
Those smartphones are going to be way better.
Right. Yeah, they would have like 3D renderings in front of your eyes, or some sort of
special glasses. You know, there will be.
I'm still happy with these, though.
I know, this one. Look at that.
It's
incredible.
And thanks to everybody who sent
it.
pictures in, whether online or on TV. We really appreciate all of that. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, a couple more things to chat about right here on Wisconsin Weather Experts.
Welcome back, everybody, to Wisconsin Weather Experts. Got a little bit more here to talk about fun stuff, to say the very least.
We always have some fun stuff, right? Let's talk about sea animals, or sea lions in this case. Drivers in Western Washington had to hit the brakes as a large sea lion.
Poor guy.
Oh, he's just like out for a little ways. It's wet. He thought it was still the ocean. Sea lion spent some time just kind of enjoying the heavy downpour right there in the road. Police say a coastal flood warning was in effect. The sea lion most likely used the higher water levels to make his way a little farther inland than normal. I would say a scotch. He doesn't seem upset at all.
He doesn't.
He looks
he's
like he's
enjoying that
life
rain.
right there. Yeah. So this video quickly went viral, with some Facebook users commenting, this wasn't on my bingo card for 2025. Yeah, no doubt. Officials eventually managed to usher the sea lion off the road and back to the river.
Oh, gosh.
My
I
goodness.
wonder how long it took them. to actually get him off of the road.
Right, because they're not known for their speed on land. They're probably pretty fast in the water, but
and
on
he
land,
was content.
he
did not look like he wanted to move.
Going anywhere. That's right.
All right, well, this one cracks me up a little bit, being from Northern Illinois, but many people take the drive down to Chicago, of course. Now, if you see a perfect parking spot, but there's something blocking it, like some type of object,
Like a chair.
you're not going to park there. Dib is a winter tradition in
Okay.
Chicago. So people spend hours clearing snow out from around their car, and that object is meant to hold the spot until they get back. So soon you'll start seeing old lawn chairs, pots, traffic cones, even trash cans holding spots. This has been going strong for a few years now.
Okay.
I think it's hysterical, but don't you think that at some point someone will move the objects and still park there?
I would think that
I feel like I
the
would do
dibs are
that.
not always respected. I would not
No way.
necessarily. But I kind of think it should be, because if you took the effort and you cleared the spot,
Yeah.
right? Like that's why we have like alternate side parking in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
so that the city crews can clear alternate sides when we get snow. But if that's not happening and you're the one that actually went out there and cleared it,
True.
I think for, all intents and purposes, you've got to own that spot.
Yeah, I mean, Chicago's a different beast, too. I'm sure we have our issues here in Milwaukee with snow and parking, but
Right.
Chicago's a different
Yes.
thing
And-
altogether.
And you need a small loan sometimes to pay for parking. So if
So
you did the
true.
work, I think you bought the spot at least for 24 hours.
But don't be surprised if during the winter you're down there and
Yep.
you see random
Yep.
objects on the road.
Why is there a chair there? That's a great story. All right. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more great stories like that tomorrow at the same time right here on Fox Local and the Fox 6 YouTube channel.